Hey, Coach Darian, how you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right, so thank you so
Yourself?
much. I feel great. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes here to just answer this extremely important question that a lot we get a lot of our spiritual superstars asking. And I think it all sums up to how to be a wife. Can you go into maybe some of the qualities or, I mean, even how to approach that? There's a lot of women that want to be married and just don't know how to go about it, whether they're single, in a relationship. Where do we even begin?
Well, I mean, you have to understand there's a difference between being married and being a wife. I mean, people can get married, but then, all right, do you have the skills, upbringing, things of that nature to be a wife? Support your husband. Of course, he has a responsibility of supporting you also, but supporting your husband. The things that wives do. Do you have that type of training? Do you understand what's needed? What you have to do in order to be a good wife? Those are questions you have to ask yourself. I can't answer those questions because I'm not white, but women can start looking at that and say, hey, do I have what it takes to be a wife? Can I take care of the home? I mean, a lot of some wives work and things like that. They partner up with their husbands, even and try to work together as far as household duties, things of that nature. Do you have what it takes to work together to be a wife? So some things you have to ask yourself. If you have those skills. So that's where I would start.
Okay, that sounds really broad. And I wonder though, like you said, a woman has to know if she has those skills. And so you mentioned some really great bullets there. Does she know how to take care of house and home? Does she know how to support her husband? What kind of qualities would she need to have within herself that he might look for in order to say, yes, this is a woman that I can see as a potential wife?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, as far as look for a wife, you look for cooperation, you look for peace. Um, there's the dreaded word of being submissive. That's one that's a lot of women don't like to hear. Well, and that's just how it is. It has a negative connotation, but it's an honorable thing to be. It doesn't mean being told what to do or being a slave to someone or anything like that. It's understanding how the family structure is supposed to work and working together within that structure. It also means that that's one of the things my dad used to say. He was the head of the household, but my mother was the neck. A head can't move without the neck. So everything that he did went through my mother. So being able to work together, someone that's cooperative and is willing to, kind of see things differently and not be prideful, things of that nature. Those are things you look for, in a potential mate. Uh, hopefully you'll be able to work together. And, again, there's a sense of peace, there's a sense of understanding. Even when there's a disagreement or you don't see eye to eye, you're able to work those things out respectfully with each other. Find a woman that's respectful and, understands the role that she has and the role she plays within that marriage. So that's what you look for.
Awesome. Okay. So, and thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your personal background there too. And, you know, that goes into your coaching style. So that's super, super important. And I know that you've been extremely successful in bringing those qualities to your own coaching practice. One of the things you touched on is so important, and I agree that it is one of those dark subjects or taboo topics, the word submission or being submissive. Can you just talk about that? I know you have to get going. I know you're in transit. But are there any kind of um, is there any kind of advice that you would give a woman who is new to submission or being submissive to just kind of get her to warm up to that or anything?
I have no advice for that.
Okay.
That's something that you have to look into yourself. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at maybe even biblically and see what how that plays out and as far as biblically and scripturally what the word submissive means, because it's taken such a negative connotation, and even when you look it up, sometimes it just has definitions that they have are way different from where it originated at.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women that are prideful, that are not going to step aside or are not going to give up the reins or anything, and I don't need no man type stuff and so on. And you have that type of thing. That's something that you have to look at internally, look at yourself, and see how you have to move away from that and move into an idea of being submissive. And sometimes for a lot of women, that's a tough journey to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means that you have to be the right partner. A person doesn't take advantage of the situation, or like a man doesn't go ahead and use that power or that idea of that power against a woman, because you're not supposed to do that either. As a man, you're supposed to honor your wife and things of that nature. So they have to look for somebody that's potentially honorable, somebody that's going to respect them and things of that nature. So, but the whole thing of moving into the area of submission, that's a personal journey that you have to take and look into it and really find out exactly what that means. It's an honorable thing. That's what it's been referred to biblically, and and unfortunately, like I said, it's taken a negative connotation out here in the world at this point. Society looks at it a lot differently. Like I said, I've had talked to this counselor, and she likened it to being called the N-word, which I found to be hilariously wrong and off. And this is a trained, psychiatrist type person. I'm like, no, that's nowhere near that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it's looked at. And she was white. So I just found it to be interesting that she said that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, it's nowhere near that. That's totally out of line. That is definitely nothing near that.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely has a negative connotation. So, again, that's a personal journey. A woman has to look at that and really look at the definition of being submissive, and not what the society says it is, or what a woman says, or a man says. Just look at the definition of where it comes from scripturally, what that actually means. But that's a personal journey.
Okay, I totally agree. And ladies, no need to worry. That's where I come in. We definitely have been successful in helping our clients in our complete coaching circle, who are divine feminine clients, really warm up to being submissive and understanding that it actually is a way for you to embrace your power. And so it's a beautiful thing. So, okay, Coach Darian, thank you so much for your
You're welcome.
time.
Hope you have a good day.
You as well.